somewhat of a
So here's
left-handed
match
jinx to the
between
winner's circle and a
two
personal
of the
jinx of
greats,
not winning in 3
July
consecutive tries.
and
This is his
Parker
4th
Bohn.
attempt.
Six strikes in his victory over Tony Westlake. 207 to 194, and he starts with 1. Now, 25-year-old Parker Bohn III, Freehold, New Jersey, is home. 5'10", 144 pounds.
Ooh.
Leaving
Parker
a
Bohn, the
7-pin.
seven-pin.
Young man that seems very much at home on our telecast.
Very much so. Parker Bohn is acclimated to the championship round. He threw that ball very confidently as he grabs another ball. He's quickly up to shoot the 7-pin, and he's an excellent spare shooter.
Let's replay a shot of his form.
Probably the closest thing to the great champion Dave Davis that I've seen. He has that swing inside, pulls it inside, then tucks it behind that left hip. Now watch how the swing comes through. He drops inside and gets a good wrist action, playing the 4th arrow in that line you don't see many left-handers even attempt, and Parker Bohn is right here contending for the title, playing the deep inside line.
Ooh.
And it's a 6-pin on the left side.
He's an interesting fellow to watch in match play competition. So much of a stoic look on his face, whether he gets a good break or a bad break, as he drifts just a smidgen high, leaves the 6-pin, another easy spare, but he doesn't seem to show much emotion, whether it's positive or negative or any other thing when he's bowling a match game.
One of 17 left-handers that started earlier in the week here out of a field of 160. Parker Bohn. Walter Ray Williams striking the first, ready now for the second.
7-time World Horseshoe pitching champion. For the record, he holds the record for the most ringers in a tournament, 91.1% out of 750 shoes. That's a lot of ringers, Chris.
On strikes in his second game is 100%. It was interesting to hear him tell us both, Bo, that as a starting player, horseshoe pitcher, or a little experience, 8% would be a good way to be at that point. Wow.
Excellent. I went on tour with him and bowled 20 cities of exhibitions with him 2 years ago, Chris, and I got to play horseshoes every day because we gave not only bowling exhibitions but horseshoe. And he says, I'm getting up to maybe a beginner or a novice county fair player. That's how he ranked me, so he didn't put percentages on it. What he said about our President George Bush is about an 8% ringer shooter, obviously a long way from the 91% of Walter Ray.
There was a distraction, some movement.
Chris, I think he said he turned to Frank Esposito and Harry Golden, our tournament directors, and asked for noise. And you know, there's such a pristine quiet in a bowling center. It's amazing that you can hear anything, the machine or anything could bother you as an extraneous noise, and Walter stepped back.
Oh.
Leaving the 4-7. Of course, there are many polite audiences, but none better than those that come out to watch our telecasts. They are so respectful of the players, and sometimes it gets too quiet, Bo.
I agree. He's somewhat sedated, Walter Ray Williams Jr. We've seen him in other championship rounds. He's jumping around. He looks like he's riding a horse out there. And today he's just nice and calm and kind of uncharacteristic.
All right. Open with a double, mark for the spare in the third. Now with 2 strikes and shooting in the third, Parker Bohn trailing by 3.
Parker Bohn, who has a benefit for special educated children every year between the Baltimore tournament and the Hartford tournament. And as you see, he has many players up there. And next week, here's a man who'll be defending his title in Peoria, Brian Voss. Now, Bohn, third frame.
Nelson, bowling has become a real great fun time for a lot of people, like tomorrow night at Madison Square Garden Lanes to benefit a theater in New York. Greatest voice I've heard in a long time. Memories in Cats, Betty Buckley, actress Margaret Kidder are throwing a party, bowling at Madison Square Garden Lane. Sorry we can't be there to see you give them a lesson.
Terrific, and I was lucky enough to see the play Cats, and it's just wonderful entertainment as Parker Bohn steps back off the approach for no other reason than he just wasn't ready. Trails by 9 pins, can take the lead. Fourth frame.
Look at them. They'd be good to you. You can upgrade to these incredible Tacoma irons for as little as $489 a set.
And then the left-hander's bucket.
Last night he faced the same shot to defeat Walter Ray Williams Jr. in the 10th frame of the 43rd game. As you alluded to earlier, Chris, they had a tie after 42 games of regulation. Parker Bohn went on to defeat Walter Ray, but he had to convert this 3-5-6-9 to win that match. Let's see if he can do it today.
Yes, practice, practice. We're in our second match of the Greater New Orleans Open. Just had a fifth frame strike for Parker Bohn III, running a little bit behind our time schedule. While we were away, his opponent, Walter Ray Williams, had a double in the striking in the 4th and 5th and took a 19-pin lead, but Parker with a strike now as he gets a re-rack could pull within 9 in our second match. Okay, a break for Parker Bohn. What a delay on that 10-pin on the left lane.
What a terrific break Parker gets. His ball drifts real high. Now watch the action of this 3-pin. It's going to get over between the 6 and 10 pins, and it's going to make his day. It looks like an apparent split turned into a strike. There's the 3-pin. It's dancing around, does the action on the 6, and just pops out the 10. Bohn now only trails by 9.
And a solid 8 for Walter Ray with the double working.
At this level of bowling, the very best in the world, a break one way or another can make the match. Here, Walter just gets a horrible break as his ball goes right through the 1 and 3. The 5 chops off, straight back off the 8. And what was a potential 19-pin lead has been reduced to just 8.
The winner of this, our second game, will meet Pete McCordick. And then the winner of the semifinal will go against Brian Voss, who continues to warm up off to our right. Capacity crowd.
Walter Ray Williams Jr., the full grip, just barely gets the tips of his fingers in that bowling ball, spreads that index finger, and that's actually his key point. He keys his shot off the index finger and tries to have his elbow and wrist follow that finger.
Oh, stop him.
10-pin. Showing very little emotion today, Walter Ray.
You know, there's got to be something going through his mind, Chris. He's quite the cerebral player and great match game player, and I think he's just trying to change his demeanor on the lanes. He's been unlucky a little bit in the championship round. Maybe he's trying to make his opponents fall asleep and think he's not trying.
All right. Very close second match.
Yes, if it's the $150,000 True Value Open. Next time, America's Heartland on ABC's Professional Bowlers Tour.
Here in Harvey, Louisiana, near New Orleans itself, while we were away, bowling through, Parker Bohn left a 7-pin on the right lane, covered it to mark with a spare in the 7th frame, now shooting in the 8th. 8 pins. That's all that Bohn trails by. And then the 3-5-6. Pete McCordick will meet the winner.
Pete McCordick, obviously one of the top players, rolled 300 2 years ago in our championship round. And looking at Parker Bohn as he leaves the 3-5-6, just kind of a half-hearted effort. It looks to me that Walter Ray Williams Jr. is putting these guys to sleep, the old sleeping hold.
Yes, he's known to have been hypnotic at times, especially in 1986 when he was the Player of the Year. He really ruled. So now he's up.
Walter, who rolls the ball very similar to almost an amateur. He's varies his speed, throws very little hook. I'd say 5 or 6 board break at the most. But with that terrific hand-eye coordination, tremendous confidence, he's the man to beat right now.
And with the high hit, it is a 4-6-10.
Walter Ray went from leading the match to being in the rears after this. All he can do is shoot a ball over towards the 6 and 10, hope he can bounce it out and knock the 4 down. He'll take no chances of missing both the 6 and 10, and he'll be trailing by 3 pins.
All right. As it cost Tony Westlake in the first match, which Walter Ray won, this could be that costly for Walter Ray here in his second game. 9th frame coming up for Williams. Greg Hagen against Pernell Whitaker for the IBF World Lightweight Championship and World Bobsled Championships.
Whitaker will have a chance, Chris, if he's in top shape. They're going 12 rounds. I don't know. Hagen's awfully, awfully tough. Going to be a great match.
Hagen very relentless. Pretty good puncher with 11 knockouts. But Sweet Pea Whitaker has a lot of ability.
Another man with a lot of ability. 4th championship round, has failed to win a game this year. He now has the lead and can control his own destiny. He has a potential 225. Williams a potential 222. It's up to Bohn to throw some strikes.
And then he comes up with a Walter Ray Williams, 4-6-10.
Almost needless to say that each player in a position to really lock up the match as we get this tight view of the ball just slicing through the center of the pins. The 3 pin going around the 6, the 2 around the 4, that nobody's been able to take advantage.
What speed that left-handed shot. But it's an open in the important 9th, trailing by 11 now.
Let's take a look at the possibilities. Parker Bohn going at a 191 pace, Williams at a 202 pace. And Williams has been very fortunate so far that his opponents in critical situations have given him open frames to allow him to take the lead sitting on the bench. But if Bohn can throw 2 strikes, the match is up for grabs.
Little Bo Peep had lost her sheep. Turns out she just needed the smart buying tools on Amazon Business.
As the first of a needed 2, a Bohn.
He knows what faces him. With that strike, he forces Walter Ray Williams Jr. to at least mark in the 10th frame. With another strike, he'd force Walter Ray Williams Jr. to either strike and spare on his first or second ball in the 10th. Still an outside chance of a tie.
Look at that disappointment.
Pretty good shot as Walter Ray reacts to it. Parker Bohn playing right down the middle of the lane. See the deep inside line. His ball's coming from the center lane. Doesn't have much of an angle of attack on the 5 pin. He just nicks it. Doesn't give enough impetus over to knock out the 10. He'll finish with 191. Walter Ray will have to mark.
Bohn, who in his last 7 telecasts, he's won 1 title, losing 5 times to the eventual winner.
Needs any kind of mark, a strike on this shot or a spare, and he will go on to meet Houston, Texas, Pete McCordick.
Yep. Did I need some luck to advance?
So Walter Ray Williams has won 2 games here in the Greater New Orleans Open. He'll go against Pete McCordick.
That was a good
That
match.
match will be coming
Hope
up
you guys can
following
subscribe.
these